8 a.m. thoughts on the 5 a.m. wake up call. If you're at all into self improvement, making your life better, you've likely heard on YouTube, wake up at 5 a.m. How to wake up at 5 a.m. How to wake up at 5 a.m. feeling good. There is no magical witching hour that happens at 5 a.m. Do you have to wake up at 5 a.m. to improve your life? No, absolutely not. Now, I think the premise of 5 o'clock comes in because anything you do before the sun comes up makes you feel very productive. If you can beat the sun to being productive, you feel pretty darn good about yourself for the rest of the day. And how you start your morning sets the tone for the rest of the day. So if you can start your morning feeling super productive, you're going to be set for the rest of the day on a good note. 5 a.m. is also a time that's before the rest of the family wakes up, the rest of the world wakes up and comes knocking at your door with expectations. You can utilize that time to do the things that you want to do, the things that are for you, to calm yourself down before you take on the day, to meditate, to pursue fitness, to read, to make sure you're highly prepared for the day, you have all the things that you need so that the day is less stressful and frustrating for you, and in the morning you can prepare yourself and your mind. Or you can spend the time pursuing those goals, going and getting that workout, working on that hobby, that extra project that you're doing without any interruption. It's also the time that your mind is the freshest because you haven't been infiltrated with the rest of the world's needs, wants, and information. You haven't spoken to other people. You haven't watched the news. You haven't had other people's thoughts inserted into you. And that's kind of the premise and the point of the 5 a.m. movement, is to provide you more time in your life. More time for you to do and to be and to become what you want. Do you have to wake up at 5 a.m. to make that happen? No. There is no magical witching hour about 5 o'clock in the morning. If you wake up, if you try this for a week, and you realize you are ineffective, you just sit there for a couple extra hours and stare and try to wake up. Well, first double check that you're getting enough sleep, because if you're going to wake up earlier, you have to sleep earlier, because you will have a difficult time utilizing that time effectively if you're sleep deprived. If you are getting adequate sleep and you try the waking up at 5 thing for a good week and you do not adjust, your rhythm does not adjust, and you are just sitting there for an hour or two extra, doing nothing, thinking nothing, accumulating nothing, what is this adding to your life? Nothing. When you could be getting an hour or two extra quality sleep. And many of us are lacking in sleep. So you would be yet better for your overall health and well-being to utilize that time sleeping. Also, it's less about the hour. There are people that work second shift. There are people on all different schedules. It is less about the time of day than the time itself. If you can train yourself to have just a few extra minutes, you'll be less stressed. If you can train yourself to have an extra hour, that's 60 extra minutes a day to live, to pursue those things that are just for you. For some people, their most effective time is going to be in the evening before they sleep, and it's not going to detract from family time and other things because of the way the rest of their day is laid out. And if they tried to adjust that, it's just not going to work for them. So the point of it is to add time to your life. If another time slot works better for you, then don't do the 5 o'clock thing. And if 4 a.m., 8 a.m. works better with your life to provide you extra time when you are going to be the most effective, use the time that provides you adequate sleep and effectiveness with that time. You want to have that time be dedicated to you, not dedicated to cleaning the house, paying the bills, returning emails, returning phone calls, doing things that are rudimentary or are for other people, because theoretically otherwise you would be asleep. This is extra time. This is your time. And if you spend this time doing more of the mundane, more of the required, more of the other people-centric activities, again, what has this added to your life besides more of the obligations, more of the to-dos, more taxation of yourself? The point is to give you time to pursue yourself, your life, without feeling obligation to anyone else, because you traded that time you would have been sleeping for time for you. If you find that you cannot function well enough to not just busy yourself, you cannot think clearly enough to spend that time pursuing things that are going to be beneficial for you, set your day up, set your life up, things that you want to be doing, you aren't gaining anything. It's not about the time on the clock. Waking up at 5 isn't going to magically change your life any more than waking up at noon, waking up at 2 a.m. It is what you do with that time that matters. If you can utilize that time, a whole world opens up to you, because your mindset is much better for approaching the rest of your day, because you set yourself up with the best habits and routines, and you have made headway on your own personal projects, and you've given yourself personal time, all before the rest of the world is awake. But if it detracts from your sleep, if you are ineffective with that time, if you give away that time, or you simply are not functional for the rest of the day because you are not getting enough sleep, don't do the 5 o'clock wake up. Find some way to add other time into your life that's going to be more effective for you. Even waking up just a few minutes earlier so that you can be more prepared for the day will be beneficial to you. But don't think that you have to wake up at 5 a.m. There's nothing special about the 5 a.m. wake up. Any time, any extra time you can carve out in your life is what it's about. It's the point behind the 5 a.m. wake up. to set up your day with good feelings, good habits, to give you time to work on you and your life and your projects and goals and hobbies without influence or interruption from the rest of the world. It's time for you to make headway. But you can do that at any time that works for you. Do not do what's ineffective. So overall, the 5 a.m. thing is a really good idea, and it has a lot of benefits. Not magic. And you have to do in your life what works for your life. It's not 5 a.m. that helps. It's the time and what you choose to do with that time. Those are my 8 a.m. thoughts on the 5 a.m. wake up. Love you guys. I had another video like this, but it broke, so this is a little but hopefully it's good enough to get the point across. That when you take a skill or a theory from YouTube or other places and you try to apply it to your life, it's not a rule, and it's not always going to be effective in your particular life and day. The point is to take the overall swaths of what's given and what may be applicable and place it in your life in a way that is effective, taking everything into consideration. And if it's not effective, modify it or don't do it. There's nothing magic about 5. There is magic about you time. Uninterrupted, uninfiltrated by outside, extra hours in your life to do as you please and want and hope and dream to do. Whatever time of day that is. Love you guys. Bye, YouTube.